Alright, so when we're doing gait training on the stairs, we have to take into account where we need to be positioned as well as what the patient should do with the assistive device, and it's going to vary slightly depending on the assistive device. So if I'm walking with my patient and she has the cane in her left hand, I'm to assume that her right leg is her weak leg, so I'm going to stand on the right side. So go ahead and walk up to the step there. Okay, now when we get to the stairs, if the stairs have a handrail, we want to encourage our patient to use the handrail. One of the things that we do need to take into consideration when we're using training steps is asking our patients, if they have steps at home, what side the handrail is on. Because, for example, if you practice with the handrail on the right but they have a handrail on the left, then that's not going to be as helpful for them. So always ask them, on the way up the stairs, what side is your handrail on? Both, so training steps generally always have two handrails, but very few people have bilateral handrails, and if they do, very few people have handrails that they can use both sides at the same time. They're oftentimes further away. So you just want to get a good sense of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend we have a handrail on the right side, so you're going to hold on. With the cane, whenever we're going up the stairs, it is not as important whether they take their foot up or the cane up first, as it is with some of the other assistive devices. So sometimes it's going to be dependent on what the patient feels comfortable with. When we're helping someone up the stairs, we are going to stay behind them and slightly to the side if possible on their weaker side. So what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and put your cane up first, and then your right leg, and now your left leg. Go ahead, cane, right leg, left leg. Now, whenever I get to the point where I'm entering on the stairs, I want to stand with a staggered step. I do not want to be on one step right behind the person. If they go to fall, I'm likely to fall, and we're just going to be dominoes falling down the stairs. If I have a wider base of support, I'm going to be able to hopefully help balance them a lot easier, especially if they were to start to lose their balance. Go ahead and step up. Good. Now, when she gets to that step, that's when I move. I want to avoid moving when she's moving. Go ahead. All right, now go ahead and slowly turn around. Now, if she only has a handrail on this side, if you notice as she turned, I didn't let go of her gait belt. But if she only has a handrail on this side, you're going to move this over to this hand because that handrail doesn't move. As my patient is coming down, I'm going to stay in front of them, lower, holding onto their gait belt. Okay, bring your cane down. Good job. Cane, backwards. And something that I didn't say on the way up, go ahead and turn around. So what I had her go up with her weak leg first. Whenever we do stair climbing with our patients, generally what we want to have them do is go up with their strong leg, down with their weak leg. When we follow that pattern, step up with your good, down with your bad, the leg that you rely on is always going to be your stronger leg. So it's just a safer pattern. An easy way to remember and to tell your patients is that good people go up at the end of their lives, bad people go down. So we follow that same pattern. So go ahead and put your cane up with your good leg, same, good leg. Slowly turn, switch your cane over. Okay, go ahead and come down with your bad leg. And then when they get off the stairs, you would have them switch their cane back to the right hand. Go ahead and take a step forward. And you would move so that you're on their weak side. Okay? Thank you. I'll show a couple things here. So, guarding is going to be the same position. I'm just going to show you. So, with the quad cane, with a narrow base quad cane, it fits on the stairs, so that's perfectly fine to use it that way. With a wide base quad cane, it won't fit on the stairs, but it is okay to turn it to the side to use it. Okay? All right, with crutches. Crutches are going to be slightly different. So when we're using crutches, and if the person does not follow the sequencing correctly, they will know it right away. So let's say I have a fracture on my right foot. If I go up with my crutches first, does this look comfortable? Or like I'm actually going to be able to do anything? No. So, crutches will always stay lower than your foot goes up on crutches. You are also going to stay in the same position as I was whenever she was on the cane. Now, if I leave my crutches up and I put my foot down, I'm going to be in a similar situation. Look comfortable? No, not safe. So, whenever we go down, we're going to put our crutches down. The other thing we want to cue our patient to do is to kick their foot forward. If they leave it back, they're going to hit it off the step on their way down. Crutches down, and then good foot. If the person needs to, they can use both crutches on one side and use the armrest or the handrail. For some people, they might be safer doing it that way. For some people, they're safer just using their crutches. And doing it this way comes in handy if they don't have a handrail, they know how to do it. And you would do the same thing with loft strand crutches as you would with the axillary crutches. Now, walker. Is it safe to do this with a walker? No. So, with the walker, we are not going to use it on the stairs. The book shows a picture with the walker being used this way. Still not very safe. What I always recommend with my patients who use walkers and have stairs is to have a walker for the bottom of the stairs and a walker at the top of the stairs, so they leave one on each floor. Now, insurance companies will only pay for one walker every so many years. However, there are a lot of resources in every community in order to be able to get somebody another walker for inexpensive. So for example, you can usually pick them up at thrift stores for a couple dollars a piece. It's also important to get to know what services you have in your area. So for example, in Martinsburg, which isn't too far from here, there's a church that has a medical ministry called John's Way, and they redistribute gently used equipment. I use it with my patients all the time. If their insurance company isn't going to get them a second walker, I can pick one up for them for free and give it to them. So, good idea to get to know what those services are. And then have one on each level. Some people also do the same thing with canes if they don't feel safe carrying a cane up the stairs if they use like both handrails. However, I will show you a trick for using a walker. This trick only works in a couple scenarios. If somebody has another individual at home to move the walker around for them while they're on the stairs, or if they have a separate walker that they can leave set up for stairs. So let's say I fractured my foot and I needed to go up the stairs and I was using a walker, or I was non-weight bearing for some reason, maybe I fractured my hip or something. One of the ways we can do the stairs is to back up to the stairs with the walker normal, have the patient raise up onto the stairs. Now, at this point, the person would need to hold on and either have a separate walker or have somebody else in their house change the configuration of the walker, because they wouldn't be able to put their foot down. And essentially what you would do is put the front legs all the way as long as they can and the back legs as short as they can. And now you have a walker that you can use on the stairs if you're going up backwards. A standard walker without wheels is really good for this compared to a rolling walker. And then once they get to the top, again, they would have to hold on, have somebody move the walker wheels, or have a separate walker here. In order to go down, you would want the walker to be lower. Get to the bottom step. So it can come in handy, but it only works in circumstances certain circumstances. Okay, any questions with that? Go ahead.
In terms of like if they're falling, do you catch them on yourself or do you like push it down and stairs? Like, well, let's just say like they're coming down the stairs.
Okay.
If they start falling towards you,
so let's just take it if they're going up the stairs. Go ahead and start walking up the stairs. And they start to lose their balance. Go ahead, let's go up another step. Oh, sorry. Okay, and they start to lose their balance. Again, I'm going to try to keep them from losing their balance. But if they, if I'm not able to hold them, what I want to try to have them do, go ahead and just step back with this foot. This one? Yeah. Like all the way? Yeah, just right there. And I'm going to try to turn them so that they're sitting on the step if I have to lower them. Now, you have to be careful because obviously that's a lot of like torsion. But anytime you can get them kind of turned and sitting. And so then if they're coming down the stairs and they start to fall, same thing, I'm going to try to sit them down, which is a little easier. I just kind of throw my shoulder into them. I posted for you a PDF. It's actually a PDF out of the Score Builders book, which is the study book for the national exam. And it's called like Spotlight on Safety, and it has some good tips about helping somebody who loses their balance on the stairs. But essentially, I'm always going to be lower than my patient. So if they're going up the stairs, turning them to sit. If they're coming down the stairs, just sitting them back. Okay? All right, one more thing I want to show you. When we're using a curb, and we have a walker, it's easier to do than going up regular steps. So, when we're going up the curb, we're going to have our patient bring their walker all the way to the curb, step up inside. The walker goes up, followed by the good leg, then the bad leg. And they'll go on the sidewalk the other regular way. When they get to the other side, what they'll do is they'll come all the way to the edge, step up inside, walker goes down, they'll go down with their bad foot, and then good foot. And on their little way. So again, up to the step up inside, walker up, good foot up, on, to come off, all the way to the edge, step up, walker to the edge, bad foot down, and go. There are times when somebody might be non-weight bearing, and they can do it the same way, just maintaining their non-weight bearing. However, for some people, the getting up part when they're non-weight bearing can be a little bit tricky because the walker's higher depending on how high the step is. They may have difficulty getting up, like really jumping up that high. In that case, to get up the step, you can have them back up all the way to the step, push up, and then they would just turn around. But every time they go down the step, you want them going forward, so never backwards down. And the same thing would be true with crutches. As it is with the regular step. So the crutches would stay down, foot goes up, crutches come up. Crutches go down, foot comes down, and you move on. Okay?